Hey, not sure if you read or respond to messages on Insta. Sorry if you don't and I'm bothering you. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on toxicity in games and how some people seem incapable of handling the stress of intense action without anger. It always seems so weird to me how some gamers turn to racism or misogyny and how strange some of the reasons they get angry are. Curious what you think. Apologies again if this isn't an appropriate venue to ask. Yeah, let's talk about it. To answer this question, yes, I read the messages on all of my platforms, as many as I can. Plus, I can't read them all, and I definitely can't respond to them all. I respond to maybe one or two out of every 100 or so messages. Let's talk about video games. I've been playing video games my whole life. The first time I ever raged on a video game, I was an adult. I was like 19 or 20 years old. I was playing League of Legends, and this Lee Sin would not stop styling on me like every chance he could get. Spent most of that game dead, and every single time he killed me, he did it in a new, cool, creative way. And at one point, I flipped out, I smashed my mouse and broke it, and then I threw my chair that I was sitting in back behind me and broke that too. Clearly an overreaction, it was not that deep. But it caused me to realize that because I'm very slow to anger, I hadn't had any practice regulating that emotion when it does come up. I spent some time learning how to work on that, how to deal with anger and frustration, how to hold back tilt so that you're able to make good decisions even when you are frustrated, stuff like that. If you guys want, I can make a video on just that. But to answer this question, the anger that you feel when you're playing video games is a result of things not happening the way that you wanted them to happen or the way you feel that they should happen. Now, this can be very frustrating if whatever happened was your fault. However, gamers very early develop like an intrinsic sense of satisfaction from improving. So when you fail or things don't go your way and it is your fault, you're incentivized by yourself to improve, to get better, to fix it, that kind of thing. And it feels really good when we do. This is something that game developers are aware of and they take advantage of when they're making their video games. A little bit of game theory for you guys. That's what happens when it is your fault. However, if it is anyone else's fault, or if you believe that it is anyone else's fault, you can't improve on that. That's where the issue comes. If you believe it's the game's fault, if you believe that it's your opponent's fault, if you believe that it's an ally's fault, you still get the same amount of frustration from the failure, but you don't have the potential to correct it, to fix it, to improve it, because it wasn't your fault. So that frustration just sits and you get angry. And if it keeps happening, you just get angrier and angrier, and there's nowhere for you to put that anger because you don't have the power to fix it. There's a sense of helplessness in that regard. I'm angry and I can't do anything about it. That kind of thing. There are tons of different ways people expel that anger. Most of them are not healthy because most people are not taught how to regulate their emotions. Cheating, trolling, flaming your teammates, breaking shit, all kinds of stuff to try to expel this frustration or anger that you're feeling. Sometimes that flaming becomes racist or misogynist in nature. That's not because they were just so angry that racism felt like the logical course of action. They were just already racist or already misogynist, and that was the way it got let out. I never once even had the urge to attack someone's race or gender because I was upset about a video game. That's never happened because that's not how I think in the first place. But also my goal isn't to hurt my teammates. My goal is to win the game. If you find yourself jumping towards racism or misogyny or some other problematic behavior when you're angry, that's in there. That's in you. You need to unpack that, all right? Because that's part of how you think. Those aren't just careless words that you flung around. There's a reason why that train of thought is where you went. If you don't want to be that person, you need to take some time and unpack that. I get racist comments every other video. It's a very specific group of people that says it every time. It's always, well, what if you insert black people, then see how it sounds? Or, well, let's bring up the black crime statistics and shit like that. It's always funny because when I actually go to the FBI's website and I pull up the statistics, they don't want to talk about statistics no more. So yeah, if they become racist or misogynist when they get angry, that's just who they are. That might not be them all the time. They might not like that part of them, but that is part of who they are. They need to unpack that shit. The reason why it seems so prevalent in video games is because in reality, there's just a lot of racist and misogynist people out here, and video games offer you the barrier of anonymity, which means people don't know who you are, so you can say what you want. So yeah, that's my breakdown. See you next video.